Hello everyone and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today I'm bringing you guys my February book haul. Now, I do have 7 books to show you guys today, which is a lot more than I wanted to purchase in February. However, there are a few pre-orders here. There are some sequels in here that I really wanted to make sure I got my hands on, as well as some very lovely special editions. So that is the reason behind this bigger book haul. But as per usual, I'm so excited to show you guys the books that I've acquired. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive into the book haul. The first book I bought is Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. I do own all of the Heartstopper graphic novels, this being the latest release. However, I haven't read a single one yet. Don't come for me guys, you know I'm not really a romance girly. However, I have been liking romance more in my fantasy books recently, and I thought it would be fun to film a reading vlog where a fantasy girly reads some romance graphic novels. So that is essentially my thinking behind it. Now that I have all the volumes that are currently out, I can start thinking about filming that vlog for you guys, and I'm hoping it's just going to be a very wholesome vlog where I hopefully fall in love with the Heartstopper graphic novel series. I don't really know too much about this series, to be honest with you guys. All I know is that we follow 2 characters called Nick and Charlie, and I believe that they're featured in some of Alice Oseman's other books as well. But of course, in this graphic novel series we are focusing solely on them and their relationship. That's all I know. I've heard that it's the cutest thing ever. I haven't seen the Netflix show either, so I'm thinking that after finishing the series I can watch the TV show and also give you guys my thoughts on that in the vlog. I've heard nothing but amazing things. I'm so excited to finally dive in, and I'm very happy to own the last book that I needed in order to complete the series. Next up, you guys knew that this was coming, we have House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas, which is the 3rd book in the Crescent City series. Now I do have a confession to make. I did buy 2 editions of this book. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition. I think it has a bonus chapter at the end, and then I also bought a standard edition. Now the standard edition matches the tour editions, however it just doesn't have the tour elements to it. So I did buy that. I've taken the dust jacket off and I've put it with my tour editions. They look stunning together and I don't regret my decision, but I am just going to show you the one because I think it's pointless to show you that other one. I have already read this one. I won't say too much here, but I do have a spoiler-free vlog and a spoiler-filled vlog coming your way soon, which has my reactions whilst reading this. I will say it was a wild ride. I think this is just over 800 pages and I read it in like 2 or 3 days. So that just shows how invested I was in this book and just the series as a whole. For those of you who don't know, the first book in this series is House of Earth and Blood, in which we follow our main character, Bryce Quinlan. Now, Bryce is known as being a party girl at the start of the first book. However, a traumatic murder happens and that impacts her whole life. The person who is thought to have committed these murders is put behind bars. However, when the murders start occurring 2 years later, Bryce is drawn into the investigation and is asked to help them uncover what is actually going on. She is given a bodyguard called Hunt Athelard to make sure that she stays in line but also stays out of trouble, and we see both of them reluctantly get put in a situation where they have to work with one another, and as time goes on their relationship progresses from there. I feel like that's all I want to say. I really do love the series. I will stand by my thoughts though and say that House of Earth and Blood is the best book in the series, but I am extremely happy to have bought this one. I'm glad to have it in my collection, and it's just a beautiful book, isn't it guys? So of course I needed to get it in order to match my first 2 books. Next up we have Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek. I pre-ordered this one months ago, and now that it's here I can't quite remember what it's about, but what I wanted to show you guys is that the Waterstones exclusive edition is just beautiful. It has gorgeous stenciled edges as well as art on the book itself, on both the front and the back cover, as you can see here. I feel like Waterstones are definitely stepping up their special edition game, guys, and I am here for it. This is beautiful. All I know is that it's a book featuring a curse, which is definitely a buzzword for me, and it definitely gives me some fairy tale vibes. So the synopsis reads, raised in a small village near the Spirit Wood, Liska Radost knows that magic is monstrous, and its practitioners monsters. After Liska unleashes her own powers with devastating consequences, she is caught by the demon warden of the wood, the Lessie, who offers her a bargain: 1 year of servitude in exchange for a wish. Whisked away to his crumbling manor, Liska makes an unsettling discovery. She is not the first person to strike this bargain, and if she wants to survive the year and return home, she must unravel her host's spool of secrets and face the ghosts of his past. Those who enter the wood do not always return. That definitely sounds like a me type of book. I'm so excited to get to this one. I'm not sure whether to save it to read more towards September time, because I just feel like the atmosphere in this book is going to hit me the best at that point in time, but something's drawing me to pick it up now. I may give into that impulse, we shall see. But this is another one that I'm so happy to own. I can't believe that the Waterstones special edition looks like this, and yeah, I'm just very excited to get to this one. Next up we have a beast of a book, and that one is Empire of the Damned by J. Kristoff. This is the second book in the Empire of the Vampire series. I don't actually know what the series is called, and this is once again a Waterstones exclusive edition that is signed by J. Kristoff himself. Now I'm not gonna lie, I haven't read the first book yet, but I've heard nothing but amazing things. I put it on my 12 books to read in 2024 list, and you guys went crazy. You were commenting saying that I needed to read it as soon as possible and vlog my experience because it's literally like the best book ever. So that had me excited in itself, and then this book was of course being released, which is why I now have it. All I really know about this series is that it has been like 20 years since the sun last rose, and ever since then vampires have been roaming the earth and have waged war against humanity. Our main character in here is a Silver Saint who is someone known for killing vampires. However, I believe that he is captured, and the first book and possibly this book recounts his experiences up until that point. That honestly has me intrigued enough in itself. I do own the first book, I've been desperate to get to it, but that first book is also this big, so I think I've just been intimidated by it. But now that I have the second book, and now that you guys have basically screamed at me to pick up this series, I will be prioritizing it, and hopefully that will mean that I will also be reading this second book soon as well. The next book I have here is Sunbringer by Hannah Kaner. This is the sequel to Godkiller, and I did go ahead and get myself the gorgeous Illumicrate exclusive edition of this book to match my first one. In this series we follow our main character, who is of course a godkiller. However, one day she meets a girl whose fate is tied to a god, and she embarks on a quest to help this girl separate her fate from the fate of this god, because if the god dies she will die, and of course that's not a risk that anyone wants to have on them. So they embark on a journey to try and figure out how to separate the two characters, but along the way we meet another character who is a friend of the king. The king is actually in a very unfortunate position at the minute, meaning that his life essentially is soon to be forfeit, and he has sent this character on a quest to seek out some gods to see whether or not they could help him. Of course, all of our characters are put into a situation where they all meet and their quests become entangled, and we see their personal struggles as well throughout this quest that ultimately lead them to make some very difficult choices. Now I'm sorry that my description of that was just very generic. I have read Godkiller, I did enjoy it, I gave it 3 stars, but I'm embarrassed to say that I don't actually remember the names of the characters. I feel like I will reread the first book before diving into this one, just because I can't remember a lot of things that went on, but I'm very happy to have this one now. It is a shorter book as well, and the way that the first book ended was insane, so I am definitely intrigued to see where the story goes from here. Then the Illumicrate book of the month for February was To Cage a God by Elizabeth Lim. This is once again a beautiful exclusive edition. I do actually have an unboxing for this on my channel, which I will have linked up above and down below for you guys, so please do check that out if you would like a more in-depth look at this book. But I will read you the synopsis for this one because it just sounds insane, but it sounds like exactly my type of book. It says, using ancient secrets, Galena and Sarah's mother grafted gods into their bones. Bound to brutal deities and granted forbidden power no commoner has held in a millennia, the sisters have been raised as living weapons. Now the time has come for them to overthrow an empire, no matter the cost. With their mother gone and their country on the brink of war, it falls to the sisters to take the helm of the rebellion and end the cruel reign of a royal family possessed by destructive gods. Because when the ruling Illyria invade, they conquer with fire and blood, and when they clash, common folk burn. While Sarah reunites with her estranged lover who now leads the rebellion, Galena infiltrates the palace. In this world full of deception and danger, her only refuge is an isolated princess whose whip-smart tongue and sharp gaze threaten to uncover Galena's secret. Torn between desire and duty, Galena must make a choice. work together to expose the lies of the Empire, or bring it all down. As I mentioned, it sounds exactly like my type of thing. We also have dragons on the cover, so I'm not sure how they're going to play a part in this book, but this is definitely one that is very high on my TBR, and it's one that I am desperate to get to. So it may be featured in my April TBR, we shall see, and I'm very excited to have this gorgeous edition now to put on my shelves. And then the last book I have to show today is another gorgeous edition, and that one is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the adult fairy loot pick for February, which again I do have a full unboxing video for this up on my channel, which I will leave linked up above and down below. But this is a Norse inspired fantasy book, which again just sounds right up my street. You guys know I love my mythology, and Norse mythology in particular is something that's always been of interest to me, especially when we talk about Vikings. And for this one I'll just read you the little snippet. It says, a woman blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king, whilst also fighting her growing desire for his fiery son in this Norse-inspired fantasy romance from the best-selling author of the Bridge Kingdom series. Now, I haven't read the Bridge Kingdom series, but it is on my wish list. I am hoping to get to the first book very soon, but I'm so happy to have this book now, especially in this gorgeous edition. I'm hoping it's one I'm going to love, and I am going to prioritize it hopefully next month as well. I'm in a massive fantasy romance mood right now, and I'm so intrigued by the Norse mythology aspect of this. So this is definitely a contender for next month's TBR as well, and once again I'm just really happy to own this one. So here we have it, guys. These are all of the books that I bought in February. I'm so happy with all the books in this stack. They are some gorgeous books that sound right up my street, so I'm hoping that I can prioritize them pretty soon and let you guys know my thoughts on them as well. If you have made it this far through into the video and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and leave me a butterfly emoji down in the comments. I've chosen a butterfly emoji solely because we have a butterfly on the stenciled edges of the Waterstones exclusive edition of Where the Dark Stands Still, which I think just looks so beautiful. So if you don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, but you would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and comment that now. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video, and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. But that is it from me today, guys. Thank you once again for watching. It truly does mean the world to me, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!